And welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Madisonville Marine. And it's almost time for the folks at Madisonville Marine to bring a lot of boats to Knoxville for those winter shows that always come around in January, February. But they have deals going on all the time at their fabulous showroom. Biggest and best selection of boats anywhere in East Tennessee. Madisonville Marine. People go there from Chattanooga. They go there from Knoxville. It's a great place to buy a boat. Bob Hodge bought his there, Madisonville Marine. All right, want to welcome in the next member of our panel, VFL Daniel Hood, recently engaged inside Neyland Stadium. Daniel Hood, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And good to have you here. We have Mark Pankratz in basketball, who's a fellow stat geek. Daniel Hood is a numbers guy. I sent some of these to him last night. I want to run through some hidden stats, some stats that you might not have seen elsewhere. And keep in mind when we go through these, all of these are based on Northwestern and Tennessee versus Power 5 competition only. So we're not talking about the Bowling Greens of the world. We're talking only about major conference opponents. So let's go ahead and take a look at offensive efficiency. There's been a lot of talk about Northwestern's offense is kind of like Missouri and Vanderbilt. No, it's better than Missouri and Vanderbilt. It's much more like Kentucky's. You see there Tennessee, in terms of total touchdowns as a team, 32. They ran 664 offensive plays. So this somewhat also shows you how good your special teams has been in terms of setting up field position, how good your defense is. But Tennessee scores a touchdown once every basically 21 offensive plays. Northwestern is once every 35 plays, so almost twice as much work to get a score for Northwestern. Kentucky was at about 33. That's pretty close to Northwestern, but you saw where Vanderbilt was 49. Missouri scored a touchdown once every 81 offensive plays. So anyway, that's one that sort of puts it in perspective for you. Northwestern, if you're expecting a Missouri Vandy offense, it's not that bad, but it is as bad as Kentucky's. All right, next up, special teams. You figure Tennessee's going to have a huge advantage there. What you can see on the far left is the one that stands out. Tennessee with the punt return average, kick return average, return TDs, and then you see how much Northwestern has allowed, and then below that, it's the other way around. Northwestern's returns, Tennessee's returns allowed. All those are pretty much a wash, but that punt return average, that's one to watch in this game. Tennessee averaging 16.6 yards per punt return this year. Northwestern is darn good in terms of punt coverage, allowing just 2.1 per return, again, against Power 5 competition. So that's if you're looking for a place that could be an edge to Northwestern, watch Tennessee's punt return game, which has been so good all year. Might make a difference in field position. Next up, we have the throw game. I know how much Bob Hodge loves that. This is stunning, really. You look at each team's quarterback rating, and then you compare that to how their defense played against opposing quarterbacks. Tennessee is +9. That's not great, but it's good. Northwestern, -14 basically, -13.96. That really tells you when you are that bad in the passing game and you got to 10-2, that's either your schedule or you got a heck of a defense. Yards per attempt, we've talked about that on this show. It's one of the most important stats in football. 6.8 yards per attempt for Tennessee, nothing to write home about. 4.6, and again, this is versus Power 5 competition. 4.6 for Northwestern. That's one of the worst numbers in the country. And then finally, the turnover battle is another one to watch. And you see the part. Both offenses are about the same. Tennessee gives the ball away once every 60 plays, Northwestern once every 59. But defensive takeaways, Tennessee gets one every 58 plays, Northwestern takes one away every 40. So they're pretty good at taking the football away from you. Daniel Hood, I sent you those stats yesterday. Wanted to get your take on them, and I figured that the passing numbers, the throw game, probably stood out to you.
It did, and I got to say, my favorite stat, though, was the defensive stat. The one because what that shows is Northwestern is actually generating about 2 turnovers a game. And we always said the most important stat in any game of winning and losing is turnover battle. And to win that, you got to get the ball back and give it to your offense. And so with how bad their offense is, and, the 4.6 that we showed for the yards per attempt is, I looked at the ESPN's, it's the worst in the country at 4.5. And I think it just shows how great that Northwestern defense is and how much trouble we're going to have. And, we're really going to find out how much it's going to hurt. Well, actually, I guess Elder is going to be there this game. Yeah. But is he going to be 100% into it? Is his mind going to be there?
Yeah, he's putting a staff together for Eastern Kentucky, sure.
And so that's going to be huge. And, again, the 15 yards on punt return, that's the difference in the game, because we talk stats all the time of, if you get the ball on your own 40 going in, your chances of scoring are 70%, 80%. Versus if you're having to drive the length of the field the whole time against that defense, you're not going to score at all.
Going to be interesting to see, guys. Did anything stand out to you?
I was surprised Northwestern ran more plays than Tennessee did.
They played one. That's Power 5 competition. They played 10 games against Power 5. Tennessee played 9.
That explains that.
Yeah.
The quarterback rating was what jumped off the charts at me, because if that holds up and Tennessee doesn't turn the ball over,
Right.
I see the balls winning easily.
Clayton Thorson, their freshman quarterback, ran for 350 yards. Okay, so he can run the ball. 7 touchdowns passing, 7 interceptions passing. You want to be 2-to-1, not 1-to-1. And then their big running back, Jackson, was it Jackson? Yeah, Justin Jackson. 1,300 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, only 4 rushing TDs, which is interesting that you can run for 1,300 yards and only have 4 rushing touchdowns. Thorson had 5 from the quarterback spot. Mm-hmm. But you look at some of the running back. I mean, Tennessee has played some pretty good rushing attacks this year.
Yep.
Western Carolina, Kentucky, and Vandy all averaged more than 5 yards per carry against Tennessee. You were playing backups. You blew them out. Arkansas and Georgia ran. That's legitimate. They ran for 5 yards a carry against you. Nobody else did. So you had two big games where teams ran well. Alabama only averaged 2.9 per carry against you. So are you worried about that Northwestern run offense if you know that's pretty much all they do?
That makes me not worry about it as much, because Tennessee ought to be able to take advantage of the fact that literally they cannot throw the football. And they can't throw it very far when they do throw the football. Yeah. So I think that gives Tennessee a little bit of an edge. Plus just the fact that I think Tennessee's defense just kept getting better and better as the season went along. Some of that could be attributed to competition because they played 2 of the worst offenses down towards the end of the season. So that probably helped you look better. But I think that one-dimensional offense ought to make things a lot easier for Tennessee.
Go ahead.
I just go back to 10-2. Somehow those guys got to 10-2.
But I think it's their defense, not their offense. Daniel, as a defender, how tough is it for Coach Jones to try and convince those defensive players that Northwestern is worth focusing on?
No, he's already got them convinced. And the way I know Coach Jones and the way he handled bowls last year, which we'll get to later, but it's 90% business down there. You're 10% have fun, do the things, but it's business trip. And, if this game was in the middle of the season, like where we played Arkansas, and we only had a week to prepare, this would be a toss-up game. 50-50, could win by a point, could lose by a point. But with it going into the bowl season, though, now you got 3-4 weeks to prepare. Now you've seen their power runs, you've seen their zone runs, their quarterback runs, and I promise you've repped it at least 100 times, each player. And so with knowing that going into it, I feel really confident about stopping the run. And again, we got 2 great guys out there at corner. So let them man up, load the box, and say, let's see.
2 great guys at corner?
I think so.
Martin's played better the second half than Mosley did early.
Right.
I don't know if great would be the term. All right.
Better than Northwestern. Better than Northwestern.
Better than Northwestern receivers. Gotcha. When we come back, Sterling Hinton joins us, and Jacob Gillum's going to run through how bowl preps went under Butch Jones last year when he was on the team and they went to the TaxSlayer Bowl. How did Jones handle it? Come on back on the Sports Source.
From East Tennessee to the Carolinas, no job is too big for Benedict Construction. Patios and decks, custom remodels, even custom homes. With a reputation for excellence, rely on the custom work of Benedict Construction.